So today we are finishing up point slope form. This is the last thing that we will be going over before your quiz on Tuesday next week.
I won't be here. I'm gonna skip.
I'll have you take it on Wednesday. If you skip the whole week, I'll give you a 0 before progress reports.
Oh well.
That is nothing. That's the point.
Okay, so this one wants me to, guys, find the graph of y minus 3 equals 2/3 x plus 1. So this is the equation I will be graphing. There are two different ways I can do this. I can use what I know about point slope form, so I can identify the given slope and my point in the equation. Where's your glasses? Oh. Okay, so what is my slope? So remember, this is in the form y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So which of those numbers is my m? 2/3. Okay, and then my point, what's my x1? So what's in the place of this number? Be careful. It is 1, but it's opposite the sign. So -1. And then what's my y sub 1? So what's in place of this y? 3. So my coordinate point is -1, 3. So, my next step is to plot the point and use the given slope to find another point. Okay, so I'm going to plot -1, 3. So I'm going to go left 1, up 3, and put my point. Yeah, so the formula has a negative here, and this is a positive one. I need the signs to match. So this is the same thing as if I had x minus -1.
Okay.
So I need the -1 is in place of my x sub 1.
And then we did the same thing with the 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a negative.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now I want to use my slope of 2/3. That means do what? Yeah, up 2 over 3. So I'm going to go up 2 squares and then right 3. I'm always going right. And then what do I want to do with my 2 points? Connect. Okay. So the other way I can do this is to convert it into slope-intercept form. So in this method, I solve for y and identify my slope in the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to copy this down. So I have y minus 3 equals 2/3 x plus 1. Okay, so what do I want to do first? I want this in y equals mx plus b form. Well, how do I get it that way? Z?
Y equals 2 over 3 times 1 plus 3.
So I want to distribute this 2/3. So I'm going to have y minus 3 equals 2/3 x. What's 2/3 times 1? 2/3. Okay. What do I do to get y alone now? I add 3. I want to do opposite that sign. Okay. So the 2/3 x is going to stay the same. Do you guys know 2/3 plus 3 off the top of your head? What is it? I distributed the 2/3. I took the 2/3 times x. That gave me 2/3 x. 2/3 times 1 gave me 2. Okay, so I want to do 2/3 plus 3. My calculator gives me this decimal. Do I like decimals?
No.
What do I do to turn it back into a fraction? Math. Right under the alpha button, and then I press enter twice. (11/3). In Algebra 1, we like using improper fractions. Because a lot of times it's related to slope, and it helps us graph with slope. So, I want to go ahead and graph this now. I've got to find 11/3 on this number line. What did you guys tell me 11/3 was? Yeah. So, I want to go up to 3.6 and plot that point. Yeah, that's my y-intercept. And then I want to go up 2 over 3. So, I have to be careful. I'm not exactly on a line, so when I go up 1, I'm in between 2 lines. And then when I go up 2, I'm in between 2 lines. And then I go over 3. So, 0.6 is in between, or 3.6 is in between 3 and 4. Right? Corey? 3.6 is in between 3 and 4, right? So then when I go up, I still have to be in between 4 and 5, and then 5 and 6. And then I moved over 3. Okay? So, once I have my 2 points, what do I want to do? Well, that's what I'm going to explain. So, did you guys like the second method?
Yes, very much.
What made this one worse than the first one?
The first one's a lot easier.
What did I not have to deal with in the first one? Fractions. This one has a fraction. So, remember how I was telling you in the warm-up, if it asks for it in point slope form, we want to leave it in point slope form because sometimes it's easier to graph it that way. Okay, so my last problem says an event facility has a banquet hall that can hold up to 250 people. The price for a party includes the cost of the room rental plus the cost of a meal for each guest. Marissa is planning an event for 75 people. She has budgeted $1,200 for the party. Will it be enough? So, it gives me this table. What I want to do is I'm actually going to make it a table of values. So I'm going to write my x values and the y, and x and y values in each column. So what is my x value here? 50. And what's my y value for that same point? No. What's the number?
75.
725. Okay, what's my x value here?
100.
What's my x value right here? 100. And my y value?
1,225.
Okay, my x value here.
150.
My y value?
1,925.
Okay, my x value right here.
200.
And the y value for that point?
2,525.
I'm looking at the number at the bottom of the fork for x, and then the number at the top of the fork for y. What's the last point?
250.
And my y value?
3,125. Now can I go home?
No. Okay, so the number of guests and the total cost represent different data points on a line. So this one, the point slope formula is more useful. Bless you.
Bless you. You're welcome.
Why is the point slope more useful? What am I not given in these points? Well, I'm not given my slope. That's true, but what else am I not given? Why can't I use the slope-intercept form? What am I missing for slope-intercept besides the slope? The y-intercept. So, okay. So we're going to find our slope. We can use any 2 points. So looking at my table of values, which 2 points make the most sense? Do you want to use really large numbers? So I'm going to use my smaller points. This is going to be x1, y1, because it's the first set of points. And the one below it's going to be x2, y2. So then I'm first going to plug into my slope formula, which, if you forgot, is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. It's not forks, it's a party. It's just represented with forks. Okay, so what is my y sub 2? $1,325. What's my y sub 1? $725. My x sub 2? 100. And my x sub 1? 50. Okay, so I want to do the math on each part of the fraction. What is 1,325 minus 725? Use a calculator if you need to. It's a little more than that. Okay, 100 minus 50. Okay, so what do I want to do next on my calculator? Yeah, 600 divided by 50 gives me, try again. You're close, just 12. Okay, now that I have my slope and a point, I'm going to plug in the point slope form. So remember, that one is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That's the way this formula works. There's 2 y's in this formula. Because remember, it's just the slope formula rearranged. Okay. So, I want to plug in the y, the regular y, and the regular x are going to stay the same. What was my y sub 1? Okay. And what was my m? Okay. And then I have x minus, what's my x sub 1? Okay. Okay, so this is the formula, but is that what the question was asking me? Find the formula? No, it was asking me if she's planning it for 75 people. It was asking me if 1,200 is enough money for the party. So I need to plug in 75 in for which letter? X, because that's representing our people. And I want to solve for Y, which will be the total cost for 75 people. So instead of that X, I'm going to plug in 75. Okay. So, what is 75 minus 50? Yep. Okay. Okay, so what is 12 times 25? Are you guessing or typing in the calculator?
You have a calculator.
It's 300. Okay, then what do I want to do? Hold on. Not subtract. Add the 725 to both sides. So y equals okay, so is 1,200 enough money?
Yes.
It's going to only cost her 1,025.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she will have enough money.